Hey everybody, Frank Spear with you, that guitar guy, back again. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button. Today I want to talk to you about adding notes to the minor pentatonic scale. Let's face it, as guitar players, the minor pentatonic scale is our home. It's where we live most of the time, especially if we're rock, blues players, country players. We're living in the major and minor pentatonic scales as well as the major scale. And there are notes we can add to spice up these scales. So there are a couple of patterns I want to show you. One more bluesy, little jazzy, and one more country. So here's the standard minor pentatonic scale in A. You all know it, you live it, you learned it, you love it. Now what we're going to do in this first scale, I'm not going to get into the theory of it, right? We're going to do some Dorian stuff to it, whatever. It doesn't matter. Those are just fancy names for adding notes to it that sound cool. Okay, so we're going to, all right, that's our first note right here. We're going to add in. Instead of, we're adding in, we're doing the same thing on the next string down. And we're going to do the same thing on the next string down. You can already hear the bluesiness of it. You can add this one in too. Watch. Start on the E. All right. Yes, believe it or not. All right? That's the octave of the note we just added in up here. So watch. Next string. So we got. You could do it that way also if you'd like. Same on the next string down. So real easy pattern if we do it this way. Right? Now next we're going to right, we're going to grab this F. Add it in. Same thing on the next string down. So the pattern is the same on these two, on the low strings. And then the two middle strings. So it's 4 3 1 4 3 1 4 2 1 4 2 1 4 3 1 4 3 1 in terms of your fingers. Right? So you get this sound. I told you it was a bit jazzy sounding, right? So you get the... You combine that with your standard blues licks. Right? So you start adding those in. See how that starts sounding really cool and jazzy, and get some of those funkier notes into your playing. All right, now the second one is more country, and here's what we're going to do. This time we're going to use the same A pentatonic scale, A minor pentatonic, but what we're going to do is we're going to be playing in the key of C. So here's a little bit of theory. The notes of A minor and C are identical. They're the same notes. All right? So if you take any major scale, stick with me here. This is very simple. Don't get nervous. If you take any major scale and you take the 6th note of that scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, this is G. 7, back home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you play the minor pentatonic scale off of that root note. In this case, it's E. Then we're playing G major, right? We started in G major. We counted up 6 notes in the G major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got the note E, and we play the minor pentatonic scale off of that root note. That gives us a G major scale. We're just calling it E minor pentatonic. But watch, we'll start it from the G. Forget the E as the root note. The 6th note of any major scale is where you play the minor pentatonic scale from, right? So if we're in A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, F sharp. But we use A as our root because that's the key we're in, right? If we're in B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we have? A flat. But we're playing in B, the key, so we'd start on our B note and play that A flat minor pentatonic. That's what you call your relative minor. It's the minor scale relative to the key you're in. Right? If we're in the key of F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. We got a D. So we go up here to D and we play the D minor pentatonic scale. But we make F our root note, our home base, right? Right? Because we're in the key of F. We're in the key of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go to the E minor pentatonic, but we're in the key of G. Here's a general rule of thumb. If you're playing the blues, you play the minor pentatonic scale over the major chords, over those 7th chords. Right? From the root that you're on. So if you're in A, you want that minor scale over the blues. So you're going to play A minor over A major. That's the sound of the blues, the minor 3rd to the root. If you're playing country or rock, you can mix them, but generally in country, you're going to want to play the major scale over the A, not the minor pentatonic. Of course, you can add that in. You can do whatever you want. But generally speaking, the sound of country is more major, right? Here's blues, a 7th chord. A7, minor 3rd to the root, and a flat 7. That's the blues. Maybe a flat 5. Here's your 5th. A, E, flat that 5. Instead of then you run that flat 5 into the 5. That's the sound of the blues, just like you'd run the flat 3 into the 3. So now you've got these sounds. Flat 5 into the 5 into the root. Right? That's not country. It can be. You could throw it in, of course. You can mix and match as you like. But country is more major 3rd instead of it's right. It's not a 7th chord. It's a regular A major chord. not the flatted 7, but it's the major 7. Instead of, it's the natural 7th of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? It's that F, it's that G sharp. Instead of flatting it and getting that G for the blues, 7th chord. Okay? So, in country, we've got right? The major 3rd to the root and the major 7th to the root. As opposed to the blues, right? So country, major 7 root, major 3rd root, major 7 root, 3rd root. Blues, flatted 7 root, flatted 3rd, or minor 3rd, call it either one. That's more rock and roll too, right? There's some theory for you. If you don't want to know that, you don't have to know it. Just know that you can play that first scale I showed you. Is going to sound more jazzy, more funky, more bluesy. This scale I'm going to show you is going to sound more country, right? So we're in the key of C. We've counted up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got A. So we're going to play the A minor pentatonic scale, like we've been doing, but we're going to use C as our home base. Now we could do this with a C major scale. We could do it too, but there's a pattern I want to show you that works really well. This is C major. Listen to the notes of the C major scale. This is C major pentatonic, right? Now listen to A minor pentatonic. Same notes. I'm just starting on C. Right? There was your C major. Same notes. That's all you need to know. All right, here's the pattern. Right? We're starting on C. Then we're going to go here to the D, and we're going to walk chromatically up to this F note. Right in a row. And then we're going to go. So far we have C. Then 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So we got 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, and here we had 1, 3, 4. So the whole thing. And that's more of a country sounding thing in the key of C. Right? So So screw with it the way you want, but that's going to give you more of a country sound. Now, start combining them. You've got 3 scales now. Start combining them. You've got your standard minor pentatonic. Then you've got... And then you've got... Get yourself a looper or put something on YouTube that has a straight A chord vamp and just play all 3 of those over this A major chord or an A 7th chord and see what you like. Start combining the patterns and the notes and coming up with your own riffs and licks. And then remember, say it's a 1-4-5 in the key of A. Every time the chord changes, just target that root note from whatever one of those scales you're playing. That's huge. That's key. So, for example, if we're playing 4-chord, 5-chord, 1 chord, I'm going to start on A, right? That went to the D chord. I'm going to keep playing those scales, but I'm going to hit the D note and then play my licks from there. When it goes to the E chord, I'm going to keep playing those same 3 scales. I'm just going to nail the E note to let the listener know I know the chord changed and I changed with it. I hit that E when the E came. I hit that D when the D came. I hit that A when the A came. If we went to B minor, I'd still play those same scales. I'd just nail a B. Right? Now you could nail the root, the 3, and the 5 of those chords. Right? So if we're playing A, and I'm coming back to A, I don't have to hit an A. I can hit any of the notes that are in that A chord. So I can look at my A chord and say, well, there's an E. There's an A. Right? There's a C sharp. So I can nail any of those when I start my licks. Right? So here's an example. We're on the A chord. I'm going to start the lick with an A. Right? There's an A and I ended on an A. Now, there's an E in that A chord. It's the 5th. I'm going to start my lick playing those scales, but I'm going to start it this time on this E. Right? There's a C sharp. I'm going to start it on that note. Right? So you'll see how wonderful that sounds as you're playing along with a band or tracks. Right? Highlight those 3 notes in your licks. Always highlight the notes that are inside whatever chord you're playing. We go to the D chord, the 4 chord. I still play those 3 scales, but I'm going to highlight that D or any note that's in the D chord. I've got an A, right? And I've got an F sharp. So here's D. I'm going to highlight that F sharp. And maybe I play this lick. Just make it up, right? Because here's that F sharp. And it's going to be highlighted in that lick. So the key is to invent your licks off of each chord and then play them as the song goes by, right? So let's take the 1 chord and the 4 chord. We'll use that lick from the F sharp, because it's in the chord of D, as our 4 chord lick. Now our 1 chord, let's say we start on the E. All right, we go. We use this scale. First one I showed. So what if we go? We'll slide into it. And then when that D chord comes around. So we've got 1 chord, 4 chord. So we've got develop licks for each chord. If you went to B minor, I could still use that first lick. But then when you go to this B minor, I'm still going to play these scales because it's all in the same key. All those notes will work over all these chords because they're all built from the same 7 notes of the key. Okay? So, when it goes to that B minor chord, all right, I'm going to play these same 3 scales, only I'm going to highlight that B. So I look for my B. Where's my nearest B? All right, here's one. Remember this scale? There's a B. So maybe I'll... right, when I go to the B. So now you got B minor. So we've got... watch, listen how that lick sounds over this B minor. Right out of the scale I showed you. You got a B here too. So you could do that. See, I'm just highlighting the root of the chord we went to. So there's 3 scales, there's some cool theory, lots to work with, have fun, get out there and jam. I'm Frank Spear, that guitar guy. Like and subscribe, please. See you in the next one.